The first thing he did was laugh. Not a polite laugh, not an awkward one. The kind of laugh that says, "You don't belong here." The courtroom doors were still closing behind me when I heard it sharp and confident echoing off the marble walls. I looked up, and there he was, my ex-husband, leaning back in his chair surrounded by lawyers in tailored suits, smiling like this whole thing was already over. And for a split second I almost believed him. I probably looked exactly like he expected me to look. Cheap gray blazer, nothing flashy hair pulled back because I didn't have time or money for anything else. A worn briefcase in my hand, the kind you buy secondhand and pray no one notices. I could feel people staring, wondering why this woman was walking alone to the plaintiff's table while the man across the room had a legal army. My hands were shaking, yeah, but my feet kept moving, one step at a time, because turning around wasn't an option anymore. You see, the woman he was laughing at wasn't the woman he thought he knew. That version of me stayed quiet for years, swallowed insults, accepted being invisible. This version had spent months preparing for this moment. Months sleeping on a mattress on the floor, eating ramen, reading legal documents at 2 a.m, teaching herself how to fight back. And when you reach a point where you've lost almost everything, something strange happens. Fear stops having power over you. The judge entered, the bailiff called the room to order, and suddenly it was real. My ex-husband's lead attorney stood up first, smooth as glass, voice calm and practiced. He painted a perfect picture. His client, a self-made tech entrepreneur, built his company from nothing. Long hours, big risks, big rewards. And me, I was reduced to a footnote. A supportive spouse, a part-time assistant, someone trying to take advantage of success she didn't earn. He used words like fairness and opportunism, and I could feel the room nodding along. I watched my ex the whole time. He didn't even look at me, just stared ahead, confident, comfortable. This was his world. Boardrooms, contracts, people saying yes to him. He thought this courtroom was no different. When it was my turn, I stood up slowly. No notes in my hands, no dramatic gestures, just my voice. I told the judge my name, then I told her the truth. How the company started on a borrowed laptop at our kitchen table. How I drained my savings to buy the first equipment. How I answered customer emails at midnight, handled payroll, talked vendors into giving us more time when we couldn't pay. I talked about the nights he wanted to quit sitting on the floor with his head in his hands and how I told him we'd figure it out. I said I didn't take the salary because we couldn't afford one. I said my name wasn't on the paperwork because I was told it would complicate things. And I believed him, because that's what you do when you love someone right. You trust them. You don't imagine they're keeping score. The room got quiet. Not uncomfortable quiet, focused quiet. The kind where people stop checking their phones. Then I opened my briefcase. I laid out documents calmly, one by one. Old emails where he called me his partner. Financial records showing my personal money keeping the company alive. Early business filings with my name listed as co-founder before it was quietly removed years later. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't point fingers, I just let the paper speak. That's when his smile disappeared. His attorney asked for a break, tried to regain control, but the momentum was already shifting. Witnesses backed up my story. Former employees who remembered me running operations. A contractor who remembered me negotiating payments so the lights wouldn't get shut off. Each voice added weight. Each detail cracked the version of reality my ex had sold so confidently. During recess, he finally approached me. His voice was low-tight. Told me I was embarrassing him. Told me I should have taken the settlement and walked away. $50,000 to erase 12 years of my life. I looked at him and realized something that surprised even me. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear. I told him I wasn't here to hurt him. I was here to stop being erased. When court resumed, he took the stand. He spoke smoothly, denied everything, framed my sacrifices as normal spousal support. He said he paid me back the money I loaned him. Couldn't show proof. Said I was never a real partner. Until I handed over a government filing with my name printed right there. The hesitation before he answered. That was the moment everyone saw it. The truth slipping. That afternoon, something unexpected happened. A woman in the gallery asked to speak with me. An attorney. Experienced. Calm. She said she'd been watching the case and recognized something familiar. A pattern. She offered to help me no charge. Said she'd once been where I was fighting alone. I didn't even know what to say. I just nodded. With her help, we found what my ex thought no one would ever notice. Hidden assets. A secondary company holding millions. My name removed shortly before he filed for divorce. A plan carefully executed. When we presented it at the final hearing, the room felt different. Heavy. Serious. No laughter this time. The judge listened, asked questions, took her time. Then she spoke. She said what I had shown wasn't bitterness or revenge. It was evidence. She said contributions don't disappear just because someone decides to rewrite history. She ruled that the assets were marital property, that I was entitled to my share, that attempts to hide wealth would have consequences. When the gavel came down, I didn't cry. I didn't smile. I just exhaled. For the first time in years, I felt solid, like my feet were finally on the ground. Outside the courthouse, reporters asked how it felt to win. I told them it wasn't about winning. It was about being seen, about knowing that truth still matters even when the odds look ridiculous. Months later, my life looks nothing like it did back then. I have my own place. I started a small consulting business, nothing flashy, just honest work on my terms. Sometimes I still think about that laugh in the courtroom, how small it made me feel for half a second, and how wrong it turned out to be. So here's what I want to ask you. Was I right to fight this hard? Was he wrong to think success belonged to him alone, or is this just how power works until someone finally pushes back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand because stories like this aren't just about one courtroom. They're about how often people get underestimated and what happens when they decide they're done staying quiet.